Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel Quirky Mom Quirky Kid. I am Shambhavi, a certified parent coach who is helping the parents to ease their parenting journey and strengthen their parent-child bond as they navigate through the new age parenting. So earlier we talked about introducing solids to infants, like when it should be started, what is the minimum age, what are the do's and the don'ts, and what signs to look for the kids when they are ready to start their solids. How it makes a difference if you are having following the traditional method or if you are following the baby-led weaning method, and we left somewhere about discussing on the difference between gagging and choking. So today we are going to talk about the difference between gagging and choking. So what happens is parents usually get confused between gagging and choking, and they get terrified and they don't know what to do about it, right? Because उनको समझ नहीं आ रहा है जब बच्चा गैग भी कर रहा है तब भी उनको लग रहा है कि बच्चा चोक कर रहा है, and they rush to help them and sometimes they get afraid, उनका सिर सहलाते हैं, पीठ ठोकते हैं, so that they wish and pray कि जो खाना अटका है वो बाहर आ जाए. But you can easily tell the difference between gagging and choking if you are paying close attention to your baby. Yes. So what happens is gagging actually is a safety reflex. When a baby puts too much food in their mouth or the food is way too back in their throat, so then what happens? The gag reflex helps the baby to get the food out of their mouth. So that is why it is called a safety reflex, where the baby's body is telling them to spit out the food that is choking their windpipe partially, so that once the food is out they're able to breathe and it is okay for them. So in that case what happens, the baby doesn't look terrified. The baby knows that okay, the food can come out, and the very major difference that you can see is because the food pipe is partially blocked, पूरा का पूरा food pipe नहीं jam है, तो you can still see the baby making sounds like या उस तरह के sounds जो हैं वो कर सकते हैं, baby breathe कर सकता है. तो इसलिए gagging जो होता है that is a safety reflex and it is okay when the baby gags. You don't have to rush it, you don't have to get terrified, you just need to help the baby कि वो अच्छे से उसका जो फूड अटका हुआ है partially वो बाहर आ जाए, right? That is gagging. Now what is choking? Actually choking is that we need to be very careful and vigilant about, उस पर ज़्यादा ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, because choking is not a safety reflex and choking is when the food gets stuck in your baby's food pipe and it blocks the complete food pipe. It blocks it pura. I mean the baby is not able to breathe, the baby is not able to cry. जब वो रोने की कोशिश करता है तब उससे आवाज़ नहीं निकलती है. Baby looks terrified, baby becomes uneasy. So उस टाइम पे you need to understand the baby is choking and you need to help the baby take out the food in the mouth. So उस टाइम पे you have to actually go and help the baby rather than waiting for the baby to spit the food out. And if you feel that it is going beyond your control, do consult the pediatrician, nearest pediatrician that you have. Talk to your child's doctor on the phone if you can, and make yourself aware about these two difference. And जब आप बच्चे को closely वॉच करेंगे, जब बच्चा खाना खा रहा है, slowly over the time you will understand the difference between the gagging and the choking on your own by looking at the baby, how the baby is reacting, right? So that is the basic difference between gagging and choking. Now let's talk about what we can do to avoid choking in kids, right? Because why to wait till choking happens, right? God forbid if it happens, do seek the medical help. But what you can do to avoid choking, there are few steps that you can follow as a precaution so that your baby doesn't get in that situation, right? Okay. सबसे पहले तो क्या करना है कि जब आप बच्चे को प्यूरी दे रहे हैं या फिर आप उसको बेबी लेड वीनिंग फॉलो कर रहे हैं, तो कभी भी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बेबी को अनअटेंडेड नहीं छोड़ना है, इरिस्पेक्टिव वट एवर मेथड यू आर फॉलोइंग. When you are feeding purees to the kid, just make sure that there are no big lumps in it, because what happens हमें पता नहीं चलता है when we are feeding, and sometimes there is a lump which goes and gets stuck in the baby's food pipe. So जब भी प्यूरीज दे रहे हैं, you have to make sure that there are no lumps. Mash it properly, especially जब आलू वगैरह देते हैं उसका, या फिर दाल. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि when you are giving दाल, तो उसमें थोड़ा कभी कभी लम्प्स जैसा रह जाता है, या फिर आप किसी और चीज़ की प्यूरी बना रहे हैं वो अच्छे से ग्राइंड नहीं हुई है, देन व्हाट हैपन्स, उसमें थोड़ा लम्प्स रह जाता है. And don't make purees very thick, just make it semi solid, ताकि बच्चा जो है आराम से उसको निगल सके. Baby can swallow it easily. Do not make it very thick, so that it also sticks to their food pipe, and it makes them very uneasy to swallow it. So about the purees, make sure that there are no lumps in it. If you are following baby led weaning, where you are giving them the finger foods to the baby, where you are telling them how to eat on their own, or basically letting the baby decide what to eat, and following their lead, that is basically baby led weaning. So वहाँ पे first of all you need to make sure that you are cutting the food in a proper sizes according to their age, right? You can find the link in the description below to get the what is the age, like how to cut the food age appropriately. You can click on that link and you will be able to find that guide. However, make sure always that the food is properly cut according to their age. जैसे बच्चा जब छोटा होता है, they need a palmer grasp, थोड़ा बड़ा food size होना चाहिए, and as the baby grows, you can reduce the sizes. And still there are some foods that you need to cut in a certain way, so that baby can hold properly and they can eat it properly, and it doesn't get stuck in their mouth or in the food pipe. Right, so that is very important, that you need to cut the food properly. As I talked about, do not leave them unattended, even if it is baby led weaning. You're thinking कि बच्चा खा लेगा, नहीं, do not leave them unattended. Another thing is, ensure when the baby is eating on their own, just watch them that they're not taking a big bite or bigger bite than they are supposed to, right? Because what happens is, like, babies don't know how much to eat, right? They are still learning, so that is how they come to know. Gagging comes in helpful for the babies here, because there they come to know how much food they should bite off. But when they are learning, they do not know that. So sometimes accidentally they bite off a bigger piece, and which led them sometimes gagging, sometimes choking. So we just need to be very much aware कि कितना बड़ा bite the baby is taking while they are having the food, right? Then when the food, you are giving the food to the baby, right? First of all, आपको उसको proper sizes में cut करना है, and secondly, you need to make sure the food is squishy enough, it is soft enough, so that the baby can swallow it properly. Because in baby led weaning or in purees form, baby do not chew, right? Although their gums are strong enough that they can bite off the things and they are ready to chew, but babies do not have that patience. They do not do that because they are not aware of it. So what they do, they just put it in their mouth and they try to swallow. So whenever you are giving them a food in baby led weaning, when you are cutting out the pieces, make sure the food is soft enough, it is squishy enough. So basically it should be soft enough for them to swallow, but not so soft that when they hold it, it just becomes purees and comes out of their hand open, you just say. So that will frustrate the baby. So it should be soft enough कि खाए and थोड़ा chew करे, and they should be able to swallow it. It is not going to create a problem. And most important, be it traditional weaning where you are traditional feeding where you are giving the purees, or the baby led weaning, Always maintain the portion size. First of all, do not force feed the baby at all. Be it purees, if they are saying no, do not feed the baby. Again, you can find the link in the description below to identify the fullness cues in the baby when you are feeding the baby, or we can talk about it in the next video also. But in the meantime, you can go in the description box below, and I've left the link where you can identify the fullness cues of the baby, right? So make sure that you're not force feeding the baby, and even if the baby is eating on their own, make sure that you're not serving them enough कि बहुत ज़्यादा देंगे तो बच्चा बहुत सारा खाएगा. No, please serve them one piece or 2x at a max. जब बेबी का खत्म हो जाएगा and they still feel hungry, you can give them a second serving. Because what happens is, when the baby sees a lot of food on the table, right, on the plate, so they're not able to understand कि सारा खाना है, कितना खाना है और कितना नहीं खाना है. They're not able to judge that. So what they'll try to do is they sometimes try to stuff their mouth, and that may lead to choking also, right? So जब भी आप बच्चे को food serve कर रहे हैं plate में, make sure that it is one piece or two at the max, and you can always give a second serving, right? So these are some points where you can help your baby, and by avoiding or preventing the choking, and hopefully you do not have to rush to an emergency service. If this video was helpful, please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and I would request you to please share it with at least one parent so that it makes a difference for them. For introduction to solid videos, you can watch it here, and until then, have a good parenting journey. Bye.